Welcome everyone to Things Around 8. Dear friends, in this video we will talk about a serious warning given by Russia, which warned the United States that it will give a tough response to the frequent drone flights over the Black Sea, just a few kilometers from Crimea. But why do these drones bother Russia so much? And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any news. This Friday, June 28, Andrei Belozov, the new Russian defense minister, ordered the Kremlin to prepare a tough response to the frequent flights of American drones over the Black Sea. According to the Russian minister, there has been a substantial increase in the number of these flights in recent months, which, according to the Kremlin, proves what it called NATO's direct involvement in that conflict. Belozov said that the flights of so many drones increased the risk of incidents involving Russian military aircraft, something that, according to the minister, also increases the risk of direct confrontation between Russia and the alliance. But what are these drones really doing there? And why is Russia so bothered by them? The drones the Russian minister is referring to are not attack drones, but rather observation, surveillance and reconnaissance drones. Large platforms such as the MQ-9 Reaper and the gigantic RQ-4 Global Hawk, capable of remaining in flight for up to 36 hours without interruption, constantly observing the adversary. These drones are true electromagnetic sponges, absorbing practically any type of electronic communication emitted by man, from simple radio emissions, such as civilian and military radio stations, to cellular communications and radar wave emissions. In addition, of course, images in the visible and infrared spectrum, with these drones equipped with huge cameras, capable of filming any object on the ground or on the sea surface within a radius of a few dozen kilometers, depending on the flight altitude and atmospheric conditions. Therefore, whenever a drone like this is flying over a region, everything on the surface of the land and sea, all types of remote electronic communications that are exchanged, both civil and military, and any radar-emitting point on land, at sea or in the air, will be detected and recorded. All this information is transmitted to large processing centers whose mission is to decrypt whatever is encrypted and compile the information, giving commanders a tactical view of the battlefield that they would not otherwise have. And Russia knows very well that all this information and all this broad tactical view of the battlefield obtained by these drones is fully passed on to Ukraine, which can thus be warned in advance of Russian movements. Thanks to these drones flying over the Black Sea, Ukraine knows when Russia sends new shipments of supplies to Crimea. Ukraine knows when Russia is preparing fighters and bombers for strike missions. Ukraine knows when new Russian units are being prepared for combat in the southern sector of the combat front. And Ukraine knows, down to the minute, the exact location of each of the ships in the Russian Black Sea Fleet. This is essential information for Ukrainian air defense, since it is from many of these ships that Russia launches missiles at targets deep inside Ukraine. So it's pretty obvious why Russia is so uncomfortable with so many US drones flying over the Black Sea. So why doesn't Russia just shoot down these drones? Drones like the MQ-9 and RQ-4 are incredibly easy to shoot down. They're not very fast, with the MQ-9 reaching a maximum of 480 km per hour, while the RQ-4 doesn't exceed 620 km per hour, and they're also not very maneuverable. And on top of all that, they're not equipped with countermeasures like flares, which means that once they lock onto a target and launch the missiles, they're pretty much guaranteed to be shot down. And just look at what the Yemeni Houthis are doing in the Red Sea, with at least 5 or 6 MQ-9 drones being easily shot down. So if it's that easy to shoot down, why doesn't Russia do the same? The Russians don't do it because they fear escalation. Russian Minister Belozov knows that if he starts shooting down drones in the Black Sea, the United States will send fighter jets to escort them. And he knows that this could lead to direct aerial confrontations between NATO fighters and Russian fighter jets, which he obviously does not want, as this would further affect the operational capabilities of the Russian Air Force in Ukraine. This so-called tough response that he has promised to give will probably involve dangerous close passes over the drones, as they did once in 2023, when a Russian fighter jet dropped fuel on a drone, damaging it and causing it to crash. But as I said, if the Russians make a habit of this, they risk having to face NATO fighter jets, and just at a time when Ukraine is about to start receiving its F-16 fighter jets. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any news.